Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Conan, Exodus, issue number 1. I hope that you decide to look at this review before you buy the comic book, unless you already know what this comic book is. Because I was taken aback, but I did enjoy it nonetheless. I just had to kind of get into that mindset real quick because this was a bit of a shock to the system. Let's get talking about who made this book. That should be brief. Then we'll talk about the book itself. This is Exodus by Esad Ribic, who is the writer, artist, and cover artist. Rather than writer, I would say plot storyteller. VC's Travis Lamb does the letters. Oh, there are letters in here. It's just, not the regular letters. It's those fake rune, that rune font that they use, where some of them are real runes, some of them aren't. Nick Bradshaw and John Rausch does the Bring On the Bad Guys cover, and Greg Horn does the van cover. I don't know what that is. Logo design, Jay Bowen. So, and of course, Robert E. Howard created Conan. You know how Conan is drawn to be, he was always described as being big with the square haircut and the sunken eyes and whatnot. I have almost never, not since like the black and white Conan days in the original Marvel, like the Savage Conan. Forget about the color ones. Just those black and white magazine style books that were being done. Not since then did I feel this kind of Conan, even though this is color. There's color in this book. This is not in any way, shape, or form a black and white comic book. It looks like a standard comic book, except that there are no words. That's cool because this is supposed to be, much like in Exodus, the Exodus second chapter of the Bible. This is the moving, the transmigration, where Conan decides. I remember reading this was supposed to be at 15 summers, so he's like 15 years old. I'm done living here. I want to leave and I want to go and find stuff and be like, hey, what's up? I'm Conan. I'll make my mark in the world. Soar my blacksmith son's oats, whatever the hell that is. And he goes out into the world and he's got to get from here to there. And at the end of the book, you actually get to see the little marked out, and it's all in blood red, which I think is beautiful. But you see his marked out trail trying to get to where he's going. He doesn't really know where he's going. He's never been outside of Samaria. I love seeing all the different animals that he's got to kill, the fear and the terror in his eyes. You get to see him growing from a 15-year-old to something older. I don't know how old. You get to see, the different kills that he makes, where he got that necklace, the bearskin necklace that he's worn so often. That was probably my favorite moment here. That was a moment where I just stopped and I just stared at it like, wow. Wow, that is really cool, seeing that. You see, him killing a wolf and then being hunted by the wolves, still having to try and fight back against the wolves, sometimes killing a wolf and getting another dinner out of it. Sometimes he's able to kill a little field mouse and he's starving, but he's got to move on. Maybe a handful of berries. Oh no, I'm attacked by a wolf again. And then the bear, where they're both confused as to who the actual prey is. I loved this book. This was crazy when he starts meeting his first non-Sumerian humans. That was badass. I know there might be some people saying, well, when his barbarian village was invaded, calm down, dude. We're not talking about the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. We're talking about the original Robert E. Howard books, where nothing like that was ever mentioned. This is a great, great story where it's only visuals. Now, since this is a comic book, there's art, but there's no writing. This is the kind of book that I don't feel could have been told back in Robert E. Howard's day. Howard was a tough SOB, and he somehow also knew how to write. He wasn't much of an artist, though. Frank Frazetta, I don't think, could have sat there and freaking drawn out an entire comic book. I mean, he's done some amazing work, but the tediousness of sitting down and writing and drawing panel after panel after panel. Plus, he would have had to draw at actual size back then. This This is a pretty interesting time. This is a very good book. Esad Ribic pulled this off. Although it's not necessarily writing, he did do this script for this. He did do the plot, the story behind this. This was all him. And seriously, I give a round of applause for that. This was a fantastic book. I enjoyed this. I'm looking forward to the next issues. Apparently, this is going to be an ongoing. Yes, please. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.